It's 4:20 somewhere, and right now that somewhere is right here. Hello, I'm Janae Burris.
And I'm Jake Brown, and welcome to the Cannabis Show, where we talk all things weed. Another week in the books. Janae, how was, Idaho, Utah? They're all kind of just one big blur to me.
No, Boise, Idaho. It was lovely. It was beautiful. It was
the Denver of the North, I hear.
The Denver of the North. I think that's a compliment.
Okay.
I had a really good time. Good people. Emma Arnold, good people out there.
She's really good people. Did you get Emma high? Did anyone get high? Are people getting high?
You know, they're doing it over there. They're driving to Oregon.
They drive to Oregon? Okay.
To get a little CBD and get medication and
sure, that's legal.
But that's what they're doing. I found weed somehow.
Congrats.
I found weed. I'll never admit to carrying it because I'm a black woman in America and I don't travel with weed. You can stop me. You can check me right now. No, I found weed somehow.
Okay, that's good. That magical weed fairy.
I was at the airport now.
It's all the traveling comedians.
Oh God. Okay, so first of all, you're a bad influence. Because you're like, oh, you just put it in your carry-on. Not that I did that.
No, don't.
And I didn't check any bags this time, so all I had was a carry-on. Not that I put weed in there. But I'm standing in line and I just see this adorable little Labrador. I'm like, oh, look at that Labrador, he's so cute. And it's got a don't pet sign. It's like, oh, it's a guide dog, don't pet it. No, that's a drug dog. They use Labrador retrievers as drug dogs. Drug dog bumped my bag and then bumped the bag of the girl in front of me. And so like, I'm about to shit myself for not having weed in my bag, not having weed in my bag. And I'm just hoping that the beautiful woman in front of me has a little bit of coke on her too. And so then they brought a second dog and that dog came back, he bumped her and then he sneezed. I was like, God,
done.
Get her. Thank you, dog.
Wait, was it the like kind of like blonde? Is blonde a color of dog?
Yeah, they are blonde.
I think I saw that dog and I got so nervous, and so I just saw the trainer and I was like, good dog, bro.
They're like really
thanks.
sweet looking dogs. I was looking for German Shepherds or something.
Sure.
And then they bring these sweet dogs over, and I didn't even think, move your bag, dum-dum. So look at your sweet dog.
They're just sniffing for bombs.
What you been up to this weekend? Oh, rapping that Eminem. Shout out to Jake Brown right here, killing it.
Janae had me on the Pussy Bros show, the talent show. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, the only like more stereotypically white thing I could have done was like sing Sublime or something.
No, Eminem's got some street cred, so that was really great.
Brad Noel, no street cred. Sorry, buddy. No, it was a light weekend. We didn't do much. We had a pool party, ate a little bit of acid. Wait, what am I talking about? We just hung out at a pool. It was nice and light.
We'll never cop to anything on this weed show.
Never once. All right, now it's time for the Week in Weed. And let's start with a story about nothing, the Seinfeld of marijuana, as the Department of Justice refuses to approve any applications to research cannabis, according to sources talking to the Washington Post. The DEA began taking these applications in 2016, providing weed a potential way out of its Schedule I designation. But until Attorney General Jeff Sessions' department signs...
I didn't forget, I was swallowing.
Until Sessions' department signs off, researchers like the University of Massachusetts at Amherst professor Lyle Craker remain in limbo. And while researcher limbo sounds like something fun on a cruise ship for scientists, Craker has legitimate concerns, saying, quote, they need to think about why they're holding this up when there are products could be used to improve people's lives, unquote. With 25 proposals on the table, there's definitely interest in this research, and we'll keep you up to date as this story develops. Oh, can we get some science going?
Can we get some science going?
Not in Sessions, America.
No, I was just talking. I was just. What?
Sorry, I was just drinking.
Just being waterboarded over here. I was talking to my sister about science, and she brought up the Bible, and I was like, goodbye. I'm out of here.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. How about Janae? She's got a story. Let's talk about that. In Rutland, Vermont, a Norman Rockwell Museum property may become the site of a new marijuana dispensary if Daniel Riley Sr. and Daniel Riley Jr. have it their way. Rockwell is famous for capturing everyday life of American culture. The potential for merch is enough to make this thirsty comic salivate. That's some crazy merch right there. I can just see it now. The cover of the Saturday Evening Post featuring a young boy getting his first haircut by a barber with a blunt hanging out of his mouth. Visualize that. Or a poster of Rosie the Riveter looking faded as hell while building warplanes. Or instead of officers escorting Ruby Bridges to a desegregated school, they just take her to jail for possession. The property has been up for sale for 7 years, and the town board will discuss the issue on August 22nd.
Girl Scout cookies, the Hells Angels, Tiger Blood. They may sound like things that you'd find at a crazy party, but these are also trademarks that cannabis companies may be infringing on, and Gorilla Glue is the latest to the party. In a lawsuit against GG Strains LLC, which is a company that helped popularize the Cannabis Cup-winning strain Gorilla Glue No. 4, the adhesive company argues they're piggybacking on the perceived stickiness of the family-run business has come to be known for. Now, GG Strains argues they're not selling glue, comparing it to Dove soap and Dove chocolate, which peacefully coexist.
And Dove the bird.
And dove birds, there's a lot of doves out there. I'd also guess more people associate glue with sniffing more than smoking. But there is still a chance for a settlement, which would be in line with agreements that companies like the Girl Scout cookies or Hershey's have come to with cannabis companies in the past. I'd highly recommend checking out our own Alicia Wallace's full coverage of the story on thecannabis.co.
Oh my God, Alicia Wallace is the one to read.
Killing it.
Just look for her stuff and read that. Girl Scout cookies, I had a dream the other night.
Sure.
That I went into this office building and I yelled at these Girl Scouts, "Your cookies suck!"
And then they just fled. They were like, well we have to admit.
I just woke up feeling like, yeah, they do.
And you can
what
now
are we even doing?
They knock them off at every local grocery or at every grocery store now. You can go to Walmart. You can get the little package of Samoas. They call them something else that's less offensive.
I keep buying them though
it's
out
great.
of habit, and I feel like I'm like trying to eat a stale memory. It's like,
what's your go-to?
The butter ones. What are they called?
Oh, butter one. That's no one's favorite.
You dip them in coffee.
Janam out of here.
The butter old lady cookies. They're perfect. They're made just for me. They're not supposed to taste very good. Hey there. When I was 16, I was busy dropping out of high school, praising Jesus, and pining over boys who were probably into boys. But Topeka, Kansas high school junior Jack Bergerson is ready to run for governor. Sure, he won't be old enough to vote in the next election, and he can't even grow facial hair yet, but I have no doubt he is ready to take on the position. One positive thing that came out of the election of Donald Trump is that a whole new generation of young people have been inspired to pursue their biggest dreams, even if they are completely unqualified, even if they are the wrong person for the job, and maybe they're a little bit racist in private amongst friends, and maybe they have a few dirty dealings with communist countries, and a couple of rape charges on record, and they filed for bankruptcy 5 or so times, and their business dealings have been notoriously shady for decades. Even they can ascend to the highest office in this great land. There is no Kansas law governing qualifications for governor. No age, no residency, no experience. Good credit, bad credit, no credit. Come on down. And when young Jack found this out, he thought, oh, I could do that. The lack of requirements and that very thought are what led me to theater school and stand-up comedy. Bergerson, who is a supporter of medical marijuana and open carry gun laws, yikes, may not win this election, but the hope is that he gets other young people involved in politics. And who knows, maybe in 20 years, pending he gains 0 experience and learns nothing about democracy, maybe Jack Bergerson could be the president of the United States.
And now a quick follow-up on Maui's first dispensary we told you about last week. Well, they're out of weed.
Oh, man.
Yep. Intense demand played a part, but so did a huge snafu on the state's part. Now, basically, all product has to be certified by the Department of Health's State Labs Division, only they haven't come up with a way to certify anything other than cannabis flower. It's like showing up at a party with a keg, no tap. Only Maui Grown Therapies is stuck with concentrates, edibles, and more they can't sell.
Oh, man.
Yeah, now there's no timetable for when this will be fixed, so hang tight and hang 10, Hawaii. It's a bummer. They just got a bunch of dank edibles that are sitting there getting moldy. You don't want an old brownie.
It seems so backwards at these cool tourist places, Las Vegas, Hawaii. Like, they seem like they should have been on the forefront of legalization. Like,
yeah,
this
like
stuff
having
shoulda happened.
cannabis experiences. You go to these places and
more money for them. You're already printing money over there. Like, here, print some more. I was like, print some green money.
well, now Vegas is cracking down. There's another story on the site that everybody should check out. That Vegas is now saying, hey, if you're a dispensary that sells weed, you can't in any way advertise that public consumption could be a thing. So like you couldn't advertise a bus, like well we have a weed bus, or like a pool party where people could smoke joints. They're like really cracking down.
Here, buy our weed, but
who knows?
I don't know. Who knows? We're not saying smoke it, but.
Yeah, and in Hawaii, all they can do is smoke right now. So, I mean, tough times on the Big Island, but you'll get through it, all right? I promise you. For more on this and all these stories from the Week in Weed, visit us online at thecannabis.co. Now, I had a chance to catch up with the Lucas brothers in Denver before their appearances this weekend at Comedy Works downtown. Let's see it.
What's up, brother?
Hey, thanks so much. Last time I talked to you guys, you had just come off of like one of the weirdest weed nights of your lives.
Yeah, that was.
It culminated, I remember, with seeing your mom on Twitter just like, please call me. Are people still giving you shit?
Oh, yeah. It happens occasionally.
Yeah. It's not as bad as it once was.
Yeah.
But since we've been back to Denver,
It's been good.
So take me back. When was the first time that you guys got high, and who got high first?
first time we got high, or first time we tried to get stoned was in college. And I don't think either of us.
We didn't succeed. We got we went outside to smoke this little roach, and it was just terrible weed. So we went back into our dorm and tried to smoke it, but then the sensor went off. So we got
oh no!
Yep.
Cops. The authorities
came immediately,
and thank God you weren't high.
No, we weren't high.
Which came first? Was it philosophy or weed? Because I know you guys are very into philosophy.
Yeah. Philosophy came first.
Yeah.
Which is, kind of. I wish that I was smoking weed and studying at the same time, but maybe I wouldn't have absorbed it.
No. You wouldn't have been as. You're still a mediocre philosopher.
Yeah.
If you were smoking, me too. But
wait. So both on the same rank. Mediocre philosopher.
Mediocre philosophers, but we try hard.
Yeah.
I think sometimes you gotta account for effort.
Yeah.
Who's the first philosopher that you read and was like, oh, this is for me?
Yeah.
Plato was the first philosopher I read. I read the Apology, and I was like, oh, this is dope. Yeah, I don't care much for Plato now, but
I actually fundamentally disagree with Plato now.
Yeah.
Like hardcore, but it's fun. It's fun to track like how I started, being so like enamored with Plato and Socrates, and now like they're now knowing that their beliefs are just like fundamentally
very
flawed.
pernicious to the development of human thought, but.
It's kind of the opposite relationship that you had with weed. We started out terrible. Now, ostensibly, you like it, right?
That's true. That's an inverse relationship.
That's very much true. Yeah.
So what's your preferred consumption method now? Are you vapes, flour, concentrate, edibles?
I took well, it was a 10 milligram pill, but I broke it in half and I took 5 milligrams, and I like it.
I love that. I love
like
that. It's the new form that we just tried yesterday, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
I normally just smoke grass, but I don't know, I'm sick of smoke.
Okay. What do people bring you? Because I'm sure that people are like, all right, you're known as
Everything.
the weed guys.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. He's like,
It
man,
sucks?
It's great. In
But
theory,
the
it's
expectation
great.
is that we want to smoke all the time.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
come on, guys.
Let's
not-
like if we.
What would you rather people bring you?
I don't know.
Like
a book,
cookies.
some
Cookies.
cookies,
Cookies and books.
or political pins.
Political pins.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, what'd you guys pick out?
Oh, I picked
So I collect these political pins.
I put President-elect Ronald Reagan because
He's
our next
looking
special.
California as fuck.
Yeah, I know
there.
he's looking California as fuck. Yeah. And then I got the Clinton goer, re-elect Clinton goer.
And I got MacArthur and Wallace. I already have a Wallace one, but I like
It looks like very similar to the
Yeah.
Goldwater. They're like, all right, let's just kind of move this
very
down.
similar.
The Republicans really.
Yeah. They're not.
Keep it consistent.
Law and order.
What do you guys have coming up? Where can people find you? You're here at Comedy Works?
We're doing Comedy Works for the weekend. So we got the shows Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
But we'll be in Toronto just for
Last Festival.
Be in
JFL.
Syracuse. Yeah, we're in Syracuse, and then we got North Carolina. Like we're all going to be all over.
We're in Portland.
Portland, yeah.
And we're writing a book. So
What's the book?
The book is a philosophical memoir about our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we're also like talking about the history of Newark, New Jersey. That's where we were born. So,
Okay, so the history of Newark meets philosophy.
Yeah. Meets a memoir about it.
And will there be any weed in there?
Oh yeah.
Will the Denver story be in there?
The Denver story.
We
have
it's
to
in
do
there.
it.
It has to be in there.
That was great. Thanks so much to the Lucas brothers for sitting down with us. Our guest this week is a Denver comedian who also just launched a new business that heckles people while they play sports. Please welcome to the Cannabis Show, Deacon Gray.
Hey,
Deacon, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
This is the first time we've ever touched. That's great. No, Deacon, you used to be my biggest nightmare because you are you are like the godfather of Denver comedy.
Oh no!
You scared the bejesus out of me until I realized that you were just there to help me.
I'm just a helper. I'm not the godfather. That makes me. Oh man. Oh. I never want anyone to think that.
You're the reason Jake quit comedy. Thank you.
The contest.
So I've done
is
my
why.
part.
Right, exactly. You nailed it.
I've done my part.
You're in the middle of the contest right now. Is this a conflict of interest since Janae is participating? Is that?
No, not really. Not really. Tonight's the wild card round, and then our second round will be complete. So we'll have 2 more contestants advance tonight.
And it gets bigger every year. How many competitors did you guys have this year?
It's gotten
like
ridiculous.
1,000?
We had 168. Whew. It was 14 weeks of 12. And we had people, we still turn people away.
And you've got people that'll sign up for replacements because some people chicken out.
Yeah.
Or they have other things to do.
I think we about 8 people got in via standby.
Wow.
Year, so.
And so Comedy Works, Dave Chappelle calls it his favorite club in the country. You do all kinds of things with them. The Gut Cracker is probably my favorite around the holiday season.
I'm very lucky that I get to produce shows there. Yeah. I'm up to about 100 shows a year now producing, if you count New Talent Night and the contest and everything. It's awesome.
Right.
It's awesome. And the best part is I'm working a lot of times that comics can't find work. Like summers are traditionally slow for comedians.
Sure.
But my summers are packed. So it's great.
That's awesome. And so when I always thought of you as kind of a clean comic. Mm-hmm. Now I hear you doing like a little bit more pot-related material.
First of all, I've always done pot material since I moved here to Denver.
From Oklahoma?
From Oklahoma. I didn't start smoking pot until I moved here, but that's not why I moved here. I moved here for the comedy.
Sure.
That was just a nice, lovely side effect. I've done so many pot jokes that some of my pot jokes have come true.
Okay, I got to hear an example.
I used to do a joke years ago before it was legalized and it was just medical. Mm-hmm. And I used to do a joke. I saw a sign in the Times today. I saw a Girl Scout selling cookies in front of a dispensary. And people would laugh at that. And now guess what happens every year in February? There are Girl Scouts in front of the dispensaries.
It never fails, and they bank too.
Oh yeah. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they?
So you go in your Girl Scout cookies and your Girl Scout cookies all in one. Right. Okay, so you talked about medical marijuana. Are you currently using medical marijuana?
I am on medical marijuana. I was purely recreational for a long time. But then after the cancer diagnosis, which I have
there's kids watching this show, Deacon. Yeah. Come on.
It won't go through the television. You'll be fine.
Perfect.
And so this is the first time I've ever had like real official doctors, like doctors I wasn't paying to tell me that said, hey, you should try the marijuana. They always say the pot. You should try the pot.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a conversation you have. You walk in and they say, you should smoke pot, you should try intravenous pot.
I had an oncologist with a straight face say to me, so have you tried the marijuana for nausea?
Okay. And
I just kind of had to bluff a little bit, like, oh, the marijuana for nausea. And no, but I've taken it to forget I was sick. Yeah. But yeah, now it's kind of like, nobody says no anymore.
Okay.
It used to be like you'd have 1 or 2 doctors like, I don't know. But now every single one of my doctors is like, yeah, whatever's working for you, do it.
Wow. That's even a change. You know, the old, accent that you'd hear from doctors was, we'd prefer that you eat it instead of smoke it. Yeah. That was the conversation, and they're saying whatever helps you manage symptoms, do that.
Yeah. It helps with pain, it helps with nausea, it helps with hunger.
Yeah, I was about to say, you look like you've kind of gained some.
I've gained 12 pounds since the chemo's done.
Congrats, man! That's awesome.
Trying to get up to like 180, 185.
Okay, that's your your playing weight.
I eat a pint of ice cream a day.
Wow.
I do.
Favorite flavor?
Haagen-Dazs chocolate.
Haagen-Dazs.
Ooh.
Okay, and so like,
Not to be
it's not my
specific, but-
favorite, but hey, Haagen-Dazs, free plugs, all right?
That's good. It's good. It's so good.
And so you're still in the middle of treatment, or
I'm almost done. Tomorrow is my final treatment, which is a weird thing called a radioembolization, which is...
Well, I'm very familiar, but for any viewers at home that might not know.
It's where they, this is odd, they inject radioactive microspheres or beads directly into your liver. And because the beads they're smaller than the ventricles of the liver, but larger than the ventricles of the tumors. So what happens is they stick in the tumors and burn the tumors out from the inside.
Whoa, okay. And we were talking last week. Have they given you any warnings about CBD? Because there's part of this conversation that physicians are now having is that CBD can be detrimental when you're working with radiation, chemotherapy treatments like that.
Nothing like that. But I'm not really doing CBD anyway. I'm just smoking straight up sativa. So
Good.
I'm doing straight up sativa, so I'm fine.
Now, you're also working kind of in the cannabis community. I saw recently you were at the clinic's golf classic that they do every year.
The clinic played an instrumental part of my new business because that was the first time I was hired to be a fake sportscaster for a golf tournament. And I told the guy, I said, well, you know, I'm just going to make fun of them. And they're like, we were kind of hoping you'd do that. And then and I thought so counterintuitive because like there's so many places you shouldn't heckle. You shouldn't heckle like at a church or a library or
funeral, golf tournament.
The golf tournament seems to fit in there, but they loved it. They absolutely loved it. Golf is so boring that they are so desperate for any kind of entertainment.
Now, are you playing the straight guy in the booth, or are you doing color commentary, or is it just kind of all over the place?
We're all over the place. Me and my buddy will do anything because we're not trying to ruin anybody's day, and we're not trying to insult people.
Sure.
To us, a heckle is anything that gets them out of their train of thought, like interrupts them while they're trying to swing a club. We have noisemakers. Sometimes we'll go out and do cheerleading routines.
Oh no.
We have music cues. We have all kinds of stuff. We have cowbells.
Well, and so
but people donate in order to get you to do that. So people are.
We're paid to be there.
Yes.
We're paid to there. We don't just show up like screw you, MS. We don't just like take that.
That makes the donations bigger. The more.
The most we've raised so far, one of the tournaments we raised like almost $1,000 at the hole for the charity.
Congrats.
Because people can either pay us to be quiet, or they, which almost nobody does, or they could pay us to go after somebody specific.
Oh, so they
that's
come
more
with like a dossier or
that's
something?
Like, so and so, because we'll have a list of all the foursomes, and they'll go, oh, watch this guy, and they'll give us like $20. And then at the end of the day, we'll give an award to the person who generated the most money. Yeah, we did one in Grand Rapids, Michigan last week, and guy like almost $100 went specifically to go out after him.
But I mean, that's like one of the hardest, what you call a corporate gig, is that you have to go after somebody that ostensibly is part of a company.
Yeah. But they'd given us so much information about the guy.
Okay.
That by the time he rolled around, we had devised this elaborate scenario that he was just suddenly found himself in. Apparently, he'd been thrown out of like 3 Little League baseball games. He was one of those parents, you know?
Sure.
And so they had given us specific things he had said to the ump, and specific stuff. So I went out and I just started yelling at him as soon as he got behind the tee. And he's like, "What are you doing?" And my guy came out and threw me off of the tee. And his wife was like, yes, yes.
She's like, you've done what I couldn't do in years, decades.
There was nothing he could say to that. It was like, all right, you got me. He's like,
well, so this is so weird because whenever I think of you and events of the sporting nature, I think of Mr. Alabaster Kane.
Alabaster Kane. He's a Southern gentleman.
Where did Alabaster come from? Because
That's
I feel
a
like
weird
this
story.
has to be.
That's a weird
like,
story.
Yeah, where did that come from?
I was on a date. I was on a date with a young woman in Oklahoma, a theater woman, and we got into the conversation of, there was an episode of The Simpsons where Homer had got a helper monkey.
Okay. Vaguely remember this.
One of those at-home monkeys that
Mojo.
Yeah, whatever.
Mojo is the name of the monkey.
And so the question came up, would there be different types of monkeys in different parts of the country? So like, would a southern gentleman have a gentleman's monkey? You know, and it was just funny. And so we came up with the name of the monkey. The monkey's name was Mr. Biscuits. Mr. Biscuits, fetch me a julep.
Oh, Lord.
It was just this stupid running gag. But the character Alabaster turned out to be the guy in the wheelchair that had the monkey.
Because, of course, if you need a helper monkey, ostensibly...
Of course you do.
Oh,
I just imagined him in a wicker wheelchair with a cabana hat. You know.
and so now you...
Please press my trousers for tonight's cotillion.
I don't even know what a cotillion is. That's amazing.
It's a southern dance. Son.
Okay, perfect. And so now you've turned into one of Denver's most infamous wrestling heels.
I like to think of him as an anti-hero.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
I do, because they don't boo me.
Okay.
I always thought they should. Whenever I
They
see
should
them,
boo
I'm
me,
like,
but they
why are we
never
not
do.
booing
They
him?
never do.
Okay, then.
They never
no.
do. And I think part of the charm of Alabaster, he's not really racist.
Okay.
He's the correct term is avaricious. Anything to do with money, he loves it.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter the race or the creed or any of that stuff. As long as you can make him money, he doesn't care. And he plays all sides. And the other thing I love about him is he always goes after the right targets, but for the wrong reasons. Like he'll get to the right target, but not for the reason he should.
Okay, and so this is at Lucha Libre and Laughs.
Can I give a maybe too soon example?
Absolutely.
At the last Lucha
God.
Libre, which was last Sunday, Alabaster was chastising the marchers in
Charlottesville.
Virginia.
Okay.
Real soon, huh?
Yeah, too soon. He was, but he was denouncing them, not because they were racist, but because they were amateurish. It's so terrible. It's so terrible.
I'm just leaving this to
No, now I'll see Alabaster at his next show.
No, because it
and
makes
he will be booed.
because it makes fun of them for the wrong reasons. But he was like talking about like you used to be it would strike terror into the hearts of everybody, and then you see these guys on television, they look like they just got kicked out of a microbrewery. It's like what is it? What is it? Tiki night at the Punch Bowl social. Yeah, see, and so it gets them, but maybe not for the right reason.
Okay.
And then you find out that he's the one who sold them the tiki torches.
Of course.
Because he's going to make money somehow. Somehow. He'll sell non-burning flags to the Southerners, and he'll sell flammable flags.
Non-burning flags.
He makes money from both sides.
He makes money from both.
That's why you can't really hate it. Well, you can, but you can't. You know.
I want to ask you. We usually ask guests favorite consumption method. Edibles. You like concentrates, flower, topicals. What's your go-to?
My go-to is just still smoking. I still use a pipe, but in the early stage of the cancer, I used a tincture. Okay. Which you put on your tongue with an eyedropper. And that was very, very helpful.
Can we rebrand the eyedropper? It's going underneath a lot of tongues lately. I don't.
Yeah, tongue dropper. Yeah, they should just call it a dropper, I guess. But
I'm just worried about people's eyes. You It's a terrible night.
No, you put it in your third eye.
Oh boy.
Thank you, Bill Hicks. Thank you, Bill Hicks.
Now it's time for pot or not.
Is it time for pot or not?
Rules are simple. All-time high score, 8
That's one
points.
of my favorite Russian authors, by the way, Patternot.
Patternot?
I've read many of his books.
I prefer Dostoevsky, but we'll go. All right, you just got to tell me, is what I tell you pot or not? We're going to give you some things that sound like they could be either pot or not. Are you ready?
I'm sort of ready, sure.
All right, number one, pot or not, sour tangy.
Sour tangy is not.
It is. Oh, all right.
Well, I know there's sour diesel. There's
sour diesel. There's tangerine. It's just an alchemy of the two by DNA Genetics.
Okay. Sorry, DNA Genetics. I will try it next time I see it.
All right. Let's see if we can get him on the board with number two, Mystery Utility Wizard.
That does not sound like a pot, Brandon.
It is not. That is correct.
That sounds like What does that sound like? That's
You can get bonus points if you can tell me what it is.
you know what that is? That sounds like the tech guy at the Renaissance Fair.
Mystery utility wizard.
We do not know how this magical device amplifies our voices. Perhaps we should ask the mystery utility wizard, or whatever his name was.
It's actually an old Isuzu model.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was something that they actually were going to start.
Isuzu. You said that about as well as Rosie Perez.
Thank you. I'm working on it.
Isuzu.
I got Dr. Pepper mouth today.
Nice.
Number 3, the White Angel.
Oh, that is definitely pot.
That is definitely pot, correct?
Is it definitely
That is
pot?
definitely pot.
Definitely pot.
Whenever they start getting into like heaven talk, it's hey man, like you. First of all, that just sounds deadly.
The White Angel.
White Angel.
Yeah.
White Angel. And by the way, that was probably the chat name of some of those guys in Virginia this weekend.
Oh no! All right, I'm moving on to number 4.
You know it was.
Yep.
White Angel.
White Angel in the
Angel.
house. We're gonna make things right.
Oh Jesus!
Take him to heaven.
Yep. Number 4, stanky leg.
Oh, stanky leg. It's, that I want to say no on that.
That is.
What?
So that's an actual strain from Universal Herbs here in
Leg.
What
What's the leg
That's a
part?
dance,
That's what
too.
threw me off.
It is
Stanky
also
leg.
a dance. And
That's
then
what made me.
Stanky
That's what I was thinking too. Like it was like some.
I would just advise nobody Google stanky leg strain because it's also a name of a hog.
I would like to see like what Google would suggest, like as you were typing stanky leg,
It's
like
definitely going to suggest the dance.
it would start getting like to like what stanky dog, stanky priest, stanky like
The
Stanky
leg,
love.
right? Ooh. I was going to give you a bonus point if you could do the stanky leg. I'm guessing that's not going to happen. So let's move on
we
to
can
number
make up the stanky
5.
leg, I guess.
Oh yeah, you got an attempt at a stank
It's just a leg thing.
It's a stanky leg. I always thought the stanky
something
leg was
like-
kind of like one of these things.
That kind of looks like the new Running Man. But
There's a new Running Man?
This is new, right?
Oh,
Like
this
that.
is
Like
my
it's
new
kinda one of
favorite
those
part of the
things
show.
like I would think you get like a lady on your leg and you're just doing
Okay,
the stanky
points
leg.
for that. Yep.
It's part of the lambada, is the stanky leg.
All right, number 5.
Pot or not, or dance.
Yeah, pot or not or dance. Number 5, rubber room.
Rubber room is definitely a pop.
It is not. That is from Twitter user @ColdSmoke88. Thank you so much. You're getting a prize.
Smoke.
We're gonna get you a T-shirt. You get a cool new cannabis T-shirt. ColdSmoke88.
Wow.
Thank you so much for playing online.
Rubber room.
Number 6.
It should be. Definitely
It should be. Well, then it sounds like some unfortunate place that a strain would take you.
I used to do a bit about how whenever I'd go to the dispensary, it felt like when you go to the horse racing track and you don't know any of the horses' names. So you're just picking the ones that sound good. Like,
I think that is how they named them.
Yeah.
That's a good bit.
you know, it's coming around the corner at Sour Diesel being chased by Alaskan Thunderfuck up the corner. And just like, that's what it always sounds like.
Bring that bit back. And we often use racehorse names in this to trip people up.
They all sound like racehorses.
Spoiler alert, no horses this week. All right.
man.
6, the Iron Lady. Is the Iron Lady?
The Iron Lady was Margaret Thatcher, if I'm not mistaken, so I'm going to say no.
It is not.
Why isn't
that
it
is
though?
correct.
I got
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
I'm the worst bell monkey ever.
Wasn't Thatcher the Iron Lady?
It's actually a new show on Netflix as well. The description:
It's about Margaret.
after business troubles destroy her father, a headstrong young woman does battle with her deeply patriarchal culture to secure her family's legacy.
Oh.
Is it about Margaret Thatcher?
It is not.
What a shame.
It might be. Is it about Margaret Thatcher, Netflix?
Netflix.
Tweet at Netflix.
Okay,
ask
Netflix.
them.
First of all, young Margaret Thatcher. There's a series
Yeah,
for Netflix
they
right
just
there.
don't want to say that.
You
on
want a headstrong young woman? How about young Margaret Thatcher? She's gonna make it.
And
Just
wrong.
those,
All right, number 7, Pineapple Kush.
Pineapple Kush is.
That is definitely pot. Congratulations.
I've had that.
Number 8, Hamburger Jones.
Hamburger Jones is the guy I used to buy pot from. I'm going to say no on that. That's a
He is not.
I'm on a roll.
That's old comedian Hamburger.
Hamburger Jones.
Alfonso Hamburger
Oh,
Jones. I
Hamburger.
figured that was a slam dunk for Deacon. Speaking of slam dunks, number 9, Allen Iverson OG.
Oh, yes.
That is definitely a strain.
Yes.
Oh.
Speaking of people that might be getting cease and desist letters soon.
Oh,
Allen
man.
Iverson?
It's from California's Good as Gold breeders. I do not think they have AI's permission to
Oh,
use
my
his name.
goodness.
It's entirely possible, though.
You should totally be sending him some money, some
Thank
residuals.
you.
or
Is
something.
Has he come out as a pot smoker? Do we know?
When he used to come into a place where I waited tables, and he would drink a lot of Corona and a lot of Patron, never seemed high. So we'll find out.
Talk about
Tweet
practice.
it,
We're just
Netflix
talking
and
about practice.
practice. All right, number 10. You could tie our all-time high score. You have 7 points. I gave you a leg point for your stanky leg, and if you're listening to this podcast, please go to YouTube and watch that leg movement. Number 10. For a spot on top of the leaderboard.
Goodness gracious, get to put my initials on.
Dream Stealer.
Dream Stealer is not.
It's not. It's a Magic the Gathering card. Congratulations, Deacon. You got You're up there, man. 8 points. Congratulations.
Out of 10?
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's a solid B.
We throw in that leg point, and all kinds of things are possible.
I used to do that in college. I get extra points for my leg movement.
Yeah. Where can people find you online? What do you have coming up?
Okay, there's a lot of stuff coming up. You can find me, my company online at sportshecklers.com. You can find Alabaster Kane on Facebook or see him at the Lucha Libre and Laughs, which is every 5-6 weeks. And then you can see me at Comedy Works most Tuesdays, almost all Wednesdays. And we've got a bunch of fun stuff coming up for the holidays too, including some roasts. We're doing a Halloween roast this year.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Janae, where can people find you? What's going on? What do you have happening?
Hi. August 30th, I'm doing the contest. Come to that.
Come out, support Janae.
Come
Team
support.
Janae, hashtag
I
Team
know,
Janae.
there's a lot of funnier people this year, but still come see me anyway. And this weekend, I am featuring for James Davis in Bloomington, Indiana at the Attic, if you are there. And High Plains. Get your tickets for High Plains. I'll be at the Headliner Show at Paramount on August 26th. Come to that. Headliner is TJ Miller.
Yeah, Alabaster's at High Plains.
Alabaster is also on the High Plains this year with the Puderbaugh sisters.
Oh, cool.
Oh, they're the best.
Yeah, they're doing a variety show with characters and stuff, so Alabaster fits in there real nice.
Perfect. Well, thanks again to Deacon Gray for joining us today. Thank you at home for tuning in. Please, again, send us in your Pot or Not suggestions on Twitter, on Facebook. Use the hashtag Pot or Not. We send you out dope swag, which is something I will never say again. And then thanks to everybody who leaves comments on the YouTube. Congratulations to the guy that got all of the Pot or Nots right last week. I totally forgot. Leland, congratulations, Leland. You killed it, buddy. Thanks on behalf of all the Cannabis Show for
so
Janae
close,
Burris,
Jake. You're so
for
close.
Vince Chandler, and all the Cannabis Show crew. I'm Jake Brown. We'll see you next week.
All right, nailed that one.
Yeah.
I'll say it again, ain't afraid to get in. I be going for the jackpot with ace in my hand, I'm raw.